You know, when you're young and you have no fear and you're like, why not? I want a hobby. That would be fun to talk on the radio. You have to find the good in the madness. I want to own a fitness studio one day. So I need to work backwards on how I
Yeah.
get to that studio. You want to be good at it immediately because you see some DJs and you're like, oh my God, that looks so cool. I want to be able to do that. And it's not going to happen like that.
I don't know. Next year, I might be a coconut farmer, like for all I know.
Who the hell knows? I say tell my friends all the time, get laser. I know it's expensive. I know it's a big purchase, but it's so worth it. I made it very important to me to be grateful and proud of myself, like at every moment.
Welcome to Coffee and Oysters, the London Business Babe podcast, where we get into business tips that actually work, as well as where it's worth tapping your oyster for. I'm your host, Frances Adara Matthews. I'm a certified Notion consultant and founder of the Notion Bar. For all my systems loving girlies, there is no need to suffer with Notion alone. I'm hosting the next session of the Big Notion Energy Academy on the 18th of December at 4:30 p.m. UK time. Details in the show notes, as always. Before we get into today's guest, which I'm super excited for, I'd like to have a little, not quite a stand up if you're familiar with a startup lingo, but a sit down with you all. So not only is it just kind of busy season for me as a Notion consultant, everyone getting their systems together, like this last week or the week before, I held a Notion workshop for creatives with the It's Nice That / Creative Lives in Progress crew at their London office. If you are a creative in the UK, then you've probably applied for something on their website. But it was so much fun. Like lots of people came down, braved the rain and the cold, and it was great to just see it all come together. But it was a lot of work. So I am mentally recovering from that. Additionally, every year I release a journal called The Happiness Bar. It kind of started out as a social experiment 5 years ago. And essentially, each year people submit self care tips to it. And then each year you get the new version with the new tips that people have submitted. It gets thousands of downloads every year. Like the mailing list is wild and it's a Notion template. And so I have been working on that. And it's always really fun to see all of the new features Notion has released. Like this year, I'm going to add in a chart for the mood tracker. So I'm just really excited to see it come together. And it's kind of like my way of giving back at this time of the year. I will put the details in the show notes if people are interested in being part of this like secret journal club that I have signed up for. Regardless of just being busy and just trying to catch up and wind down at the same time, I'm also really grateful that just things are going well because I won't lie, as a freelancer, you have ups and downs. It was down for a little while, but I think the packages that I have seem to be working. And I think if you are any kind of service provider, like have packages because it's just easier for people to digest. And you know what? It's really exciting at the moment in terms of things that I'm learning of getting used to this podcast flow. Like last time was the first time that I've done the interview format, and I realized like there is a whole setup procedure that needs to happen. And each time it gets quicker and quicker. I feel like I'm learning the script a bit more. I feel like I can get this editing process down in like an afternoon. If you're curious as to what I used to edit the podcast, I use Descript to record and to edit, and then Substack to upload, which, if you're not subscribed to yet, you really should. You can find the details for all of my podcast editing info in my Coffee and Oysters guide page, again in the show notes. But this is where, if you go to it, you will find all of the recommendations that all of the guests have mentioned. So, recommendations for tools, where to go in London, beauty products, etc. The works. Think of it as like your official vetted guide life. Speaking of beauty products, oh my gosh, I don't know about you, but this week has really been me just like getting my ish together. Like, I got a haircut. It's been a while. Like, I still have split ends and they tip off a lot. But I go to Kink by Nature in Deptford and they're always booked out for months, but it was time. And I just love the experience of getting my hair cut. Next on my list is brows 100%. I go to, ironically, the place I go to is the go to, and Dessa is incredible. Like, best in the game. I literally don't trust other people with my brows, but I need to go back to her. So it's hair done, brows are about to be done, and then also just topping up on my faves. So if you are watching on YouTube or Substack, you will be able to see this little show and tell moment that I'm about to give you. But I've just re-upped on a few things in my beauty bag, beauty closet, or just things that I use. It's dry as hell right now, and so for my hands, I absolutely love this Dizziac body conditioner. It's a little bit pricey, but you know what? It's worth it. 100% worth it. The ingredients are legit and very, very high quality. So in the winter, I have to keep this on my desk because my hands are so dry thanks to a combination of the harsh cold and London's hard water. It's a mess. And then the second thing that I've topped up on is my highlighter. So I have a very kind of like natural, glowy makeup look. I actually only know how to do one makeup look. And what I use is the Fenty Beauty Matchstick Glow Stick in cinnamon. So cinnamon is in SINAMMON. And it just gives a really lovely glow, especially if you've got some melanin in your skin. It just makes you look very like dewy and glowy. Don't know if you can tell on camera at the moment. So I re-upped on that, and I won't lie, the last one lasted me for like 3 years. And then finally, something that my niece put me onto. I don't know if you've heard of like the Sephora kids, but here in the UK, I guess we could call them the Space NK kids. She had to do some Christmas shopping for her Secret Santa thing at school, and she's in the tween age. Apparently, all of the kids are using this Naturium Phytoglow lip balm, which she put me onto. Won't lie, have been loving it. It's really thick, very luxurious, and inexpensive. So I've been putting that all over my lips lately. Would highly recommend. I do want to try the topicals like lip salve, but the website is broke. So what's a girl to do? Until then, I will be using this Naturium Phytoglow lip balm. All right, so that's enough about me. Normally in this time, we do the Manifest Mondays, which if you are subscribed to the Substack, it used to be every week, but now it's bi-weekly. You will get an email called Manifest Mondays, and the idea is that you shout yourselves out because I will be taking my favorites and shouting you out here on the show. So no new submissions, but this is your sign to please go sign up for that. In terms of what I'm manifesting for myself at the moment, I'm manifesting a brand deal. I want this podcast to be funded next year so I can hire an assistant. In terms of brands that I think could easily sponsor this podcast are lifestyle brands, so something to do with like food and beverages or even clothing brands, just things that make life easier and brands that we talk about on the show. So I'm manifesting that for next year 100%. So if you want to be shouted out, you know what to do. Go sign up to the Substack. In the show notes, not only will you get the Manifest Monday emails, but you will be always the first to know when a new episode drops. All right, so now we've gotten through my spiel, we are going to dive into today's guest. Housekeeping before we kick off. So the show notes are your friends. This is where you can sign up to become a guest. This is where you can follow the guests. This is where you can find all the recommendations and guide, all of that good stuff. And whether you're following along on Substack, Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, please go and make sure you rate us 5 stars and leave a comment. I just learned that you can leave comments in Spotify now, so I'm really intrigued by that. But it really helps boost the podcast. I've just learned that there are 50 downloads so far, and I love that. It feels like I'm forming a secret club with you all. Like, I really believe in this. And it's crazy to think that I actually have guest signups up until like mid-February at the moment, with this being a bi-weekly podcast. I'm so excited to see where this goes. But without further ado, let's dive into today's guest. Grab yourself a coffee or your favorite beverage, hint, hint, future sponsors. And let's get into today's interview. Hello, everyone. I've got a very special guest. Last time we were doing tech, and this time we are going completely the other way. So today we are with Shayna Marie, who is a radio presenter and DJ from London. She hosts the Capital Extra breakfast show, which broadcasts nationwide from Monday to Friday, 6:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. And she is also the founder of the fitness community Ryda Studio. Welcome.
Thank you. Oh, it's so exciting. I've actually found something that's so exciting. It's so nice to hear you say that. Thanks, man. Thank you.
You're welcome. No, it's so gas to have you here. How's your week going?
Good, good so far. I feel like just getting through. It's like, yeah, wake up, go home, go to bed. But no complaints. We're alive, so we give thanks.
Amazing. And I mean, and wake up for you, because the breakfast show, that's not like a normal time. That is, you are up at what, 3, 4 a.m.?
So the alarm goes off at 4:20 a.m. every morning, Monday to Friday. Show starts at 6:30. So we get in at around 6-ish. Yeah, I've been doing that for like 5 years now. So I'm very used to the wake up time. But whenever I say it, I am still reminded that that is ridiculous o'clock. Wake up at 4:20 in the morning. Yes.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. And so radio is like your day job. Would you define that as in DJing, and then Ryder Club? Is that kind of like your full-time side hustles on the side, or like how would you rank those?
Yeah, I feel like radio is like, yeah, I would say full-time job, the day job, the bread and butter.
Yeah.
Like my most constant, I do it 5 days a week. So
Yeah.
in terms of full-time, I mean, I only have a 3.5 hour show, but full-time for radio. And then the other little bits and bobs that I do, side hustles, but I wouldn't really say side because they're always first. Like they're all first. Yeah, they're all priorities. They're all my babies.
Look, I have this theory that what we wanted to be when we were younger, like when we grew up, feeds into what we actually do now. So they're all quite different things. So I'm just quite curious. What did you want to be when you grew up?
When I was younger, I wanted to be a dolphin trainer.
Oh.
That doesn't make any sense. I didn't know anybody who did that. I just saw it and I thought, I want to be a dolphin trainer. And at my big age now, I don't even like animals. So I don't know how that came from my mouth. But I will say that when I was younger, I was heavy into music because of my parents. At school, I was like, it's crazy because I was like the resident DJ because I went to a girls' school. So at lunchtime, we would always play music and just like dance because we're girls. So we're like, why not? Let's do Beyonce routines. And it was always my iPod. And I was always the one that was updating everyone else's iPod. So I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I did know what I wanted to be when I was younger. Maybe I was feeding into it from very young. And then fitness wise, I think I started that quite young as well, but I didn't know that's what I wanted to do, or it could be like a thing for me. I think I've just enjoyed it for a very long time. So I'm just very, I guess, blessed that I can do things that I enjoy and kind of make some kind of career out of them. So yeah.
It's like, you always know, right? And now you do both of those things professionally. And so what was your journey into kind of being both a radio presenter and like a DJ, as in like live music DJ? Because they're both DJs, but like different types. Like, what was your path into that? And then after that, how were you like, also, I'm going to do my studio?
I know. Why not do everything? So I started radio when I was 20 and I saw an advert for an online platform who were looking to bring their platform to a radio show. And I think I was just like, yeah, sure, why not? Like, you know, when you're young and you have no fear and you're like, why not? I want a hobby. That would be fun to talk on the radio. Like, I like the radio. I can be on the radio. That was literally my thought process. I was like, why not? So I kind of applied, and I say applied, it was just like send an email. I was like, hey, I want to do this. And he was like, okay. So I kind of started doing a show from there, and it was on a small pirate station in North Wembley, and I had a co-host, and we would go on every week and we would showcase the best UK talent, but we were just having fun. It's honestly just a good time, like best friends, and we were just chatting, and then we were interviewing guests and we were playing music, and it was just a good time. So I did that for about a year, and then the management at another local station kind of heard me on the show and was like, hey, you ever thought about doing daytime radio? Because what you do now is specialist radio. And I didn't know the difference. I was just like, sure, like fine, whatever. So went over to that station, which was called Westside. That was in West London again, in Hanwell. And then I was doing shows there for about 4 years. So that was community radio, is like where you really, I guess, learn and you practice and you meet everybody and you're covering shows and you're stuck
Yeah.
into it. And in that time at Westside, I kind of decided that I wanted to learn how to DJ because they had a spare studio and there was like decks in there. So I was like, it kind of makes sense if I want to do more with this. Like, I want to be a DJ as well, especially because the music that I liked at the time and still do like now was dancehall music, and I like to listen to dancehall music. So I was like, I want to do it myself because I want to be able to listen to it. So yeah, I kind of learned from there, and then became a radio DJ and a radio broadcaster. So I was doing a mix show and I was doing daytime shows. And then from there, DJing kind of like took off outside of the radio, from doing like parties and festivals and clubs and stuff. So yeah, essentially I fell into it, but I landed quite nicely.
Love that. You've got your more intimate stuff, and you've got like your bigger festivals.
Mhm.
I was just listening to like Joy T's TikTok today, and she
Yeah.
was like, she doesn't like playing big crowds. Like, do you have a preference as a DJ of like what kind of vibe, what setting you like playing to?
I think I prefer bigger, not like crazy big. I haven't done massive numbers in the thousands, hundreds of thousands, but I do quite like a festival style set. Just
Mhm.
because I think, especially with the bigger crowds, people are less likely to be looking at other people. It's kind of just like there's so many people here. There's no one really to look at because there's so many people. So let me just have a good time. Because there's
Yeah.
like thousands of you. It's like when you're at carnival, for example. I love playing at carnival because when you're there, it's like there's so many different people here. It's like I'm just gonna have a good time because everyone's having a good time.
Yeah.
So
No.
for
Okay.
me, yeah, the bigger ones are where people are more. Well, you're gonna get more people that are gonna enjoy than the smaller ones where everyone's kind of like, oh, am I too embarrassed to dance, or am I too shy to sing, or am I looking at DJ's face to see if they're dancing?
Yeah.
You're not really a fan of that.
Yeah, it's interesting because you say that now in sort of like the era of the apartment life vibe, the party is happening, everyone is dancing around in the background. How do you feel as a DJ, like transitioning into that kind of space where there are kind of these videos and everyone is just like, it's not performative, but it's definitely planned, like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
party.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, how do you feel about this new media?
A way where, well, like times are moving, so
Mm,
we kind of have to like, I don't want to say like get with it and and enjoy it, because you can get some really nice moments from there. You can find some really cool DJs. You can find some really good moments. Um, but yeah, it's a hard one because there are times people, when I mean like even including the audience members, like the people who are in the videos, you just want their moment, and it's like, oh, okay, so we're all just watching or waiting, or you can have an hour set and a 2 minute clip, and it's like, yep, that was the best thing ever. So it's a
yeah.
difficult one, but like there comes good things with it as well. So whether you're finding somebody brand new, I feel like I find loads of people on TikTok that I'm like, this moment was like, oh, I seen like a viral clip, and I'm like, oh, okay, this sounds kind of nice. So then I'm gonna go on their page and I'm gonna find them and I'm gonna be like, oh, they're actually somebody that I'd like to go and see in real life. So I think you have to find the good in the madness.
I want to hear about Ryda Studio as well. Like, how did that come to life?
Sorry, me and my tea. So, Ryder, like I said, I've been into fitness for a long time now. So I think since I was 16, I've been going to the gym. Obviously, not
Mhm.
properly, just like I don't even know what on earth I was doing, but I've enjoyed it for a very long time. In 2018, I became a spin instructor, and I was working in a spin studio for about a year prior, and then a Pilates studio like 2 years prior. I used to do community radio. I used to have loads of other little random jobs. So I worked in a nightclub, I worked in a kids play area, I worked in a Pilates studio, I worked in a spin studio. I just used to do all these random things to have money to survive. But just volunteer. So yeah, I started teaching at the spin studio I was working at in 2018, and I fell in love with it like almost immediately. I took spin classes before and I was like, yeah, this is cool. This is like, it's a good form of exercise. I quite like it. But then teaching made me like fall in love with it. So I was doing that for about 2 years, and I was at a really nice studio. We had studios across London, in like Battersea and Hammersmith and Holborn and Monument, teaching all across them. and loved it. Lockdown hit, and then I decided to stop because I'd gotten the Cabaret Breakfast show at that time, and it was just becoming a bit of a heavy workload. So I was like, okay, let me stop teaching, still go, and then lockdown hit, and then everything was closed. X, Y, and Z. Fast forward a few years later, I continued going back to spin class, and then found like boxing class and Pilates class and bar class, because I realized that I'm more of a class person than I am a gym girl. I do enjoy the gym, but I do kind of like classes, and I do like going to the bougie, studios, and I like that they give you like, it's just everything's just nice. Like everything, like I like nice things. So I was going to these studios like, this is where I want to be. Like I want to be here. Like I like it. And then kind of realized, well, I always realized, but when you really feel it, that I felt that I was the only person who looked like me in all of these studios, because I was going everywhere. Like in a week, I do a boxing class at one studio, I do a Pilates class at another studio, I do spin here, then I'd go bar there, then I'd go to the gym once, and I was like, I really like it, but like, there's no one who looks like me. There's no good music that I like to listen to, and I'm just a bit tired of it. Like I would like some friends.
Yeah.
So I put out a video on TikTok and Instagram, literally just like, probably complaining, like, hey guys, can I have some friends? Like, who else goes to these? I know people go, I just don't see them. So I was like, who wants to be friends and like hang out with me and go to spin together? Because I need some other Black girls to do that with, because I want a friend. And then the Pilates studio that I go to in Chiswick, they were quite a new studio. And they kind of reached out and were like, oh, it's International Women's Day coming up. Do you want to host something? As we saw your post, you want to host something for you and your friends, or invite some girls down so you can feel comfortable? And I was like, yes, guys, thank you so much. Like, oh my God. Okay, I would love to. So we did that class on International Women's Day, and there was, I invited like 16 girls down. We did a Pilates class, we did a bar class. They were all Black girls. We had like the playlist was just like Afro beats and Mapiano and dancehall and R&B and hip hop, and I just felt so good. Like I just felt so full and so warm, like seeing everyone and like being in my happy place, because fitness is my happy place. So I was like, and people here look like me, and everyone's enjoying, and then there's different shapes and sizes and bodies and colors and everything. And seeing everyone, a lot of the girls had come for the first time, because Pilates is like a really trendy thing at the minute, and it has been for like a couple of years now. But a lot of people, it's quite an expensive hobby or exercise. Two, it doesn't seem like it's available or accessible to a certain demographic, because the ones that are there don't look like us. So a lot of my friends were like, I wanted to try, but I just haven't been like, I haven't like found somewhere, or I'm just not really on it. So to see everyone at the studio, first timers, and feel like this is a great exercise, like I love this, it's so hard, I feel so good, like we're all friends, and to see everyone like chatting and sharing social media platforms and X, Y, and Z was really, really nice. That's a very long-winded answer to your question, but essentially from that class I decided, okay, that felt really good, I want to do more of these things. So from that class, literally Ryda was birthed, and yeah, we've had 6 events this year. And
Amazing.
yeah, it was just the intention to honestly like bring my girls together, like bring the sisters together, try something new, feel safe, feel welcomed, and listen to some music that is not nonsense, essentially.
Yeah, no, I hear it. That's such an incredible story. And it just goes to show, from a TikTok, like so much can happen. And
Yeah.
to host 6 events this year, and you've had some like sick partnerships like Gymshark, Drip Water. Like, that's mad. Like, big congrats.
Thank you. Thank you. Even you though as well, because I feel like I found your TikTok and I was like, hey, this looks like a really cool idea, I would like to be involved. Big ups
Literally,
to you as well.
thank you. Shout out to TikToks.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But like, yeah, as someone who dabbles very lightly in events for my own business, it's a lot of work. Like, are you by yourself, or do you have a team? Like, how do you manage all of that?
I have a manager,
Mhm.
and she helps me a lot with everything. So she is obviously across Ryder as well.
Mm.
I'll be honest, I have like really good friends. So they'll be like, what do you need? Where should we go? What are we doing? I'm taking pictures. So they're very helpful, hands on, like amazing. Essentially, it's just me, but I do have a very like strong support
That's
system.
good.
Yeah.
That's good. And even like the process of finding a manager, like how did you, as someone who does like very different things, like how did
Mhm.
you find the manager that was like aligned with
Mhm.
where you want to go?
So I had an agent for about 5 years prior to the person that I have now. And I'd known them for a very long time. I felt very safe with them because sometimes in industries it's like, oh, who do you trust and what do you do? And are they gonna rob you or whatever? But it was all very good. Like I felt protected and X, Y, and Z. Then I got to a point where I kind of wanted a little bit more and something a bit different, which I feel like fine to want a little bit of change or know that, okay, cool, this has worked for me up until this point, but now I want to pivot or I want to grow or I want to do something else. And I was really after, I think it was really important to me to have a woman looking after me because I'd had a man for 5 years and it was great, but I thought there's so many little things that women will think of and men won't when they're looking after women. So it's like literally like putting in time for me to do my makeup or putting in time for me to do my hair or like if I've shot something 3 weeks ago, my hair is different now from that content that we filmed. So I can't do it again unless I get that hair. Like so many little things. So I was like, you know what? If I want to grow in certain areas or certain ways, I kind of want a woman to look after me. So I was kind of like shopping around or just looking around, and then I found so who I have now. I knew them for a long time, and I knew they were into management. So I kind of reached out, but I asked them essentially on a friendship thing, like how would I go about looking for new management? And then she was kind of like, oh, you're in the market for new management, and I was like, yes. And she was like, well, let's have a conversation then. So luckily for me, it kind of happened in a very nice way and very
Oh,
organically. And I didn't even think about asking her because I don't know. I just thought, oh, maybe your books are too full. Maybe I don't
mm,
know. How I just wanted help on how to go about it, but yeah, luckily it worked quite well, and then it was like perfect fit. So
I love that. Yeah, no, truly, like sometimes the people that you need are like literally in your circle. You just have to like ask for things and talk about the things that you want. There is power in the tongue.
there is so
And,
much
and if you don't tell people what you want, how would anyone know?
things, and people are always like, do move in silence and keep your cards close. And yes, there is an element of that, but also, how's anybody going to know how to help you if you
Yeah.
don't speak up? So you have to find some sort of balance. Because if I hadn't asked her, she would have just been like, "Oh, Shayna's fine," and I'm like, "I need help. I want
Like,
a manager."
like,
Yeah,
help me.
help me. Yeah.
I love that. And so, I mean, running any kind of business, but like you've got like your fitness business, but then you also have like a personal brand,
Mm.
like DJing and like all radio. Has there been any skills where you've really been like, "Oh, I actually don't know anything about this. I'm gonna have to like teach myself."
Hey, yeah. Definitely as the start of DJing.
Oh,
That was
okay.
like that was like
Not easy.
not easy. It's not easy, and you have to fail loads to be able to get better. And it's probably my biggest lesson. It looks very daunting, and something like DJing, you want to be good at it immediately because you see some DJs and you're like, oh my god, that looks so cool. I want to be able to do that, and it's not going to happen like that. You can't do that just yet. So there'll be many times that I got videos of me like so frustrated because I couldn't get things right, and I'm like wanted to like throw the decks in the air, but I didn't. And we kept going and we kept learning. But I think that's been the biggest one where I was like, oh, I'm just gonna learn how to DJ. It's gonna be fun and I'm gonna be great and I'm gonna take over the world. But actually, years and years and hours, and also still learning. I think that's one of those things that you're still forever learning because things change and you can always level up. So yeah, it's a constant journey.
Yeah, fair,
Yeah.
fair. And final question before we move on to like work and life tools. You could go back to the beginning of either your like music side or your fitness journeys with Ryda. Is there anything that you would like do differently just to make things easier?
Probably, but because I can't think of specific things, I feel like I wouldn't, simply because
Yeah.
anything that I've done has led me to where I am today. I think, yeah, you've got like, that saying where it's like everything is a lesson or everything happens for a reason. But it's very true, because if I'd have done anything differently, if I'd had, moved stations earlier, or if I had taken or not taken a certain job, or if I had gone with this brand instead of that brand, so many things might have worked out differently. So yeah, I'm just like, you know what's done is done. I'm very happy. It is what it is, and where I am now is where I'm supposed to be, and what's happened is supposed to have happened. So I'm gonna take it.
I always joke when people, oh, it's like, what's the plan for the future? And I'm like, I don't know. Next year, I might be a coconut farmer, like for all I
Who
know.
the hell knows? See, I'm gonna write it on my mood board. I'm gonna write it in my notes. Who knows? Hopefully, it will be this, but God's plan.
God's plan.
Glorious.
Words of Drake. Okay, so now this bit's going to be a little bit more snappy answers.
Okay.
We're going to dig into some stuff that like makes your life easier or just gets you going.
Okay.
So this first question, so I have actually started building a Spotify playlist with all of these suggestions, but like, do you have a walk up song that gets you just like hyped?
Going.
Like you
All right, let me look. I'm gonna find this. This is a really random song. Okay, listen to it this morning, and like it made me feel really good. It's on my morning playlist. It's like, so it's by Texas, and it's called "Inner Smile."
Ooh, okay.
And have you seen Bend It Like Beckham?
Yeah, like you
It's
just
like,
unlocked me. But
yeah, it's a very old school film. But I think I first heard it in that film, and I love that film. So it just reminds me of that. But it's like, it's a feel good song.
Okay.
Super random. It's like pop, and it's like so left.
You know what? I have recently dipped back a little bit into like my pop bag, especially like old pop, like Kate Nash Foundations.
That song is excellent. Excellent.
Yeah. So
yeah, she did her big one with that. She did.
Really did. Okay, I'm gonna add that to the list. Thank you.
Add it to the list. Have a listen.
So next one is something unmissable in your daily routine.
Cup of tea. No, literally, maybe like 5 cups of tea. No, I can't survive without it. Like, I can't. Herbal tea. Like, it has to be any herbal tea. Like, I need it. I need it to function.
Yeah.
People have caffeine. People have like cigarettes. I need my herbal tea.
I love it. So for those of you weren't here with us off camera or off mic, we were literally just chatting about Shayna's advent calendar, and it's like every day it's a different tea bag, and I was like, that's incredible.
It's amazing.
And so when it comes to like clothes, do you have anything that you would count as part of like your uniform where like you're just like, this is me? Like, let's go with radio uniform.
Good question. I feel like because obviously no one can see me, but sometimes I'm like, why did I wear this to work? Like, why am I dressed like this? Like, gets on my nerves sometimes. But it's because I get ready so early in the morning. I'm just like, whatever, like put on whatever. And I get home and I'm like, people see me outside today. But I think radio uniform for me is gonna be comfort first. So either a tracksuit, joggers, like some sort of like loose, baggy, big something, or gym wear. Gym wear, you'll see me a lot in gym wear in radio because I'll go to gym straight after. So yeah, I think gym wear's like probably the first, and then anything big, baggy, tracksuit. If you look at all my pictures of my guests, it's always me in like leggings, gym leggings, or in a tracksuit all the time, without fail.
Fair enough. Do you have any specific brands that are your go-tos?
So the girlies knit. Okay, so I love Gymwear. I love Gymshark.
Okay.
They are like my go-to. I recently started Aloe as well. They make you feel like that girl. It's like, I'm the ting. Tracksuits wise, for work, a big ASOS girl. I think you can get so much on there. Yeah, comfy is always there. What else am I brand wise? It's probably those two, you know? Or those three, I think I said. Gymshark, Aloe, and ASOS.
Well, ASOS, especially for the sweats, because I'm like an awkward height girl. I am
You?
5'8", 5'9", so
Okay.
I'm a bit too tall for the regular stuff.
Yeah.
So it's giving ankle swingers, but like I'm too short for the tall stuff, and I'm like, I don't want to sweep the floor. So.
I'm like, I think I'm quite tall. I'm not that tall, but I have really long legs. So
Okay, yeah,
sometimes it fits, sometimes it doesn't. But when I get regular, it's like you said, like ankle swingers. It's like this doesn't fit me. It just looks really awkward. I ordered something yesterday and I was like, I love it, but I can't even. I put on trainers as well. I tried to like finesse it, and I was like, if I put on trainers, then it will sit better. No, I had to go back. Also Zara as well. I spent Zara. I need to stop going there, but what can a girl do?
I hear it. Okay, now beauty. One thing for skin, one thing for body, and one thing for hair. Could be a product or
Mhm.
could be a ritual.
Okay, let's start with body.
Ah,
So I'm gonna say for body, laser hair removal.
yes.
I'm glad we're on the same sister.
I'm never going back.
Laser hair removal is the best thing I've ever spent my money on.
Yeah.
I tell my friends all the time, get laser. I know it's expensive. I know it's a big purchase, but it's so worth it. So for any part of your body, get laser. All the creams for if you've got KP, if you've got dry skin, if you've got marks, get laser. It's just gonna make everything so much better.
Yeah.
So that for body.
Yeah.
Skin. I've had really problem skin for like 5 years. And I think it's only like recently I'm like, okay, cool. We're in a good place. We're getting all right with it. And I'd say probably simplifying your routine as much as you can. I've started getting skin peels every 6 weeks. So I get like a green, like herbal one. So it's not a chemical one, it's like a bit more of a natural one. Downtime is a little bit crazy. You peel like a monster. But the resurface after is gorgeous. I go to radio literally with my hat on and I'm like skin's like peeling off my face, but I'm like, no one can see me, it's fine. And I'm like talking like, hello everybody. Like I'm not looking like a dragon. But I've started getting regular skin peels and then simplifying my routine outside of that, because when you put like so much products, sometimes you're just undoing the work that you want to do, or you're causing more issues. You don't really know what the issue is. Like I think I've had times when I was like clearing my acne, but then my SPF was giving me more because that didn't agree with my skin. But I was like, you have to wear SPF every day. So I was just like trying all these new ones and my skin didn't like that one. But I didn't know it was that because I was trying so many other things. And yeah. I would say simplify your routine. I recently have started using, I don't know how to say it, Sable, Sabrina
Yes.
Elba's.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
great.
I started using that and I really like it. So that's
Mhm.
kind of like my love at the minute. And LED mask as well. I'm saying so many things. I'm so sorry.
It's
This is what I
okay.
do. I just talk. I'm so sorry. Okay, so simplify your routine for skin and hair. For me, leave it alone. Like literally for me is to leave it alone. My hair thrives the most when I'm not playing, manipulating, pulling, tugging,
Yeah.
like putting loads of things on it. It just thrives. So mine is literally wash, treat, trim, put it away. Take it
Nice.
out, wash, treat. If it needs to trim again, put it
Yeah.
away. And then maybe once in a while, I might get the silk press and then be like, oh my God, it's damaged it. Put it away. It'll be fine.
I feel like a theme in that is like just simplicity and efficiency.
Efficiency and simplicity. That is it.
Because who's got the time?
Mm-hmm.
And now let's lean into more like techie things. Could be an app or it could be like a tech product that you
Mhm.
just could not live without.
An app or a tech product?
Mm.
I would probably say. Sorry, I just got an email. I'm on my apps, yeah, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I got an email from my accountant." That's fun, isn't it? So fun. I would say none of them.
You're just like, who needs tech?
Yeah, I feel like I would probably struggle, but it's nothing that I must have.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I feel like if I just lived on like a farm or like a place somewhere with nothing, I'd be like, oh, after a while, I'd be like, this is great. Yeah,
No, as like it's too much sometimes. Like I don't even think I ever want like an Apple Watch or anything like that. And I'm like, I don't want
girl.
got one.
I think it's because I'm an over consumer and like I'm very easily influenced. I buy things easily. I'm on all the apps. Like my screen time is crazy. So like I take them all in. So knowing that if I could be without it, I'd be like, oh, great, a break. But because I can't help it, because it's here in front of me, I'm like, just get my steps in, check my heart rate, go on TikTok, buy this, download this. Yeah, it's a lot.
Fair enough. So you are an Apple Watch girly. That is your thing. That is your thing. Fair
Yeah.
enough. I'm just like, because I'm organizing stuff all the time. Like I'm deep in Notion and like my brain, like if I'm washing the dishes, I don't need my wrist to like be
Yeah,
like
notifications vibrating. Yeah, it's too much. You'll get caught up, and then before you know it, it's like, oh, I can't ever switch off because I can take it with me wherever I go. So,
let's move on to London. Like
okay.
your spots in the city. Is there anything on your London bucket list right now? Like you may have seen
Oh,
on TikTok or
as
Instagram.
always, I have things saved on TikTok. Do you have collections on TikTok as well, like folders?
Well, I started that, but I actually got this app called Corner instead. So all of my TikTok place saves go there. It's like a Google map, but with social media attached to it.
What?
It's great.
I'll download that right now. I'm easily influenced. I'll get it right now.
It's great. Whenever I go to a new city, I just open up the Corner app. I'm like, where else have people saved?
That's so good. Is it like so other people use it and then
Mhm.
they'd be like rate it or review it or
Yeah. And they'd be like, the food was this, the vibes were this, they'll take photos. It's good.
that's so good. Okay, this coffee shop in London. So the caption is, I've said this for a reason because it's black owned and it's got the best matcha latte I've ever tried.
I know the one. Is it the one in, wait, you like carry on speaking?
I'm trying to find, and they do like ginger shots, they do like juices, they do like health stuff. Beans and Beets, I believe it's called.
Beats and Beats.
Brixton.
Oh, Brixton. Okay, there's a
Yeah.
different coffee shop TikTok that I saw that's in Catford.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Mm.
maybe I'll let you guys know next week.
Yeah. Let me know if you find it because I
Okay.
love me a coffee shop. So I really want to try there. But Brixton's a bit far from me, but
Yeah. Where are you?
I live in West, like
Okay.
deep West. So it's like if I'm in Brixton, then I'll go.
Okay. Well, do you have any like personal favorite coffee shops that you actually go to?
Yeah, there's one in Chiswick called Marley's. It's like on the high road. And there's one in Hanwell as well, which is another area in West London. And that one is like that one is so lovely. I'm gonna find the name find the name of it for you because it's like, is it Momentum? Momentum in Hanwell and Mally's in Chiswick. They're my like go-tos, and Mally's do like really good food as well. So you can go there for like lunch and get like an actual food, and then really good coffee as well, and juices and X, Y, and Z. Good like banana bread, like really good bakery bits. They got really comfortable sofas. Those are my
Cute.
go-tos. West London girl through and through.
Cool. And then for fitness, right? You are out here in all of the studios. Do you have favorite studios?
Oh yeah. So I love the Proud Project in Chiswick for Pilates. They do Pilates, mat Pilates bar as well, but I go there mostly for Reformer and mat Pilates, and they are like amazing. Everyone that works there, I think because they opened quite recently, and I think because I've been there from quite early on, I've seen them like grow, and they're all really lovely who work there. And I had my first event there, so they kind of like hold a special place with me. I also love Body by Kira, which is a female gym in Muswell Hill. Kira, she's a really good PT, and she became quite big in lockdown because she was doing like live classes. So I kind of joined them and then joined her app. And then like what she's built is incredible because she's got a really good, strong community of just girls who like want to get it. Everyone who works there is just lovely. I've had like PT sessions there as well. I brought friends there. I've had an event there. So I'm like, you girls, like, if it was closer, I would be there all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, Body by Kieran Manswell Hill. I also quite like, what else am I a fan of? Those are my two main ones. But then I used to work at Boom Cycle, so I still have a soft spot for Boom Cycle. That's where I used to teach spin. That's a spin studio. Box is where I first found boxing, so really like there. They're like the bigger chains of like fitness spaces, and I do really want to find some like smaller independent ones, and I hope to find some in doing Ryda. I haven't been to this place yet, but there's a place called The Body People and Hackney, black owned as well. And they do, I've seen on TikTok, they do pole, they do step, they do spin, they do just like, it's fine.
If you end up finding any in Southeast, please let me know.
Okay.
Because I feel like I'm in a fitness drought.
Really?
Down here. So,
No.
yeah, everything's always in like deep east or deep north. Or like, do you know how long it takes to get from Lewisham to Brixton? Like an hour and a half.
It's far. Damn. I do know one of my friends goes to Pilates. I'm sure she lives in Southeast. When she next posts, I'll send it to you because her studio looks really nice as well, like quite a boutique studio, and it looks really good. So I will send that to you when I see her post it next.
Thank you. And then a final question: because I feel like London is sort of the member club central. Like, are you a member of any of the members? Curious.
Yes, I am. Only Soho House. I've been a member for years now, but I became a member because my friend was on the committee, so she kind of was able to fast track me. So I was like, yeah, sure. And I was under 30, so you get a bit of a discount when you're under 30. So I was like, okay, you know what? Let me do it. Why not? But I don't utilize my membership at all. I'm not a frequent Soho House goer. I feel like I've probably been there a handful of times in the 3 years that I've been a member. I pay all the money, and I'm just like, it's not really my style. I go to the gym because I refuse to pay for another gym membership while I have that one. So I've been going to the gym there quite recently, which is all right. But I don't, I'm a member, but I wouldn't say I'm a member because, it's not really my vibe.
And that's all right. That's all right.
Yeah.
But like, assuming that's the White City gym, right, that everyone goes to.
The White City one.
Like, loads of people go to that gym as well. So you're networking. You still meet
No,
people.
that's not what I want in the gym. It's not what I want. Oh my God. I remember I started going there recently, and I was like, I'm seeing everybody and their and like also like
that everyone going there might be a bad thing actually.
Yeah, it kind of is because you're like, hi, or hey. Sometimes there's like really famous people there, and you're like, oh my God, that's so and so, but you can't be starstruck because you're also into her house. So you can't be like, oh my God, and they're lifting weights, and you're like, this person is famous. So you have to be really cool, and I'm not cool, so it's just not. I don't belong. I don't belong.
Well, thank you for sharing your London gems with us.
Thanks, honey.
Now, while we wrap up, I'd like to get a little bit introspective.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time you would say you were proud of yourself? Could be work, could be not.
The last time I was proud of myself. Do you know what?
Yeah.
Every day.
I love that.
Every day. Yeah, I said to someone recently that I made it very important to me in trying to practice more gratitude, in trying to be more present, to be grateful and thankful and proud of myself, like at every moment. Because sometimes when you wait for the bigger moments to be proud of yourself, it feels alien to you to take a minute and be like, yo, you did well. Like that was a really big thing. And I found that like a few years ago, I was waiting for like the bigger moments to feel like I actually done something. And then I would like do the big moments and I'd be like, oh, that wasn't good enough because I was just waiting too long I didn't know how it felt to be proud of myself. So that wasn't good for me. So in changing that, it's like, you know what? Every day I'm going to be like, well done, girl. Or every moment I'm going to take a second to be like, you did well, you did that, you killed that, you bossed that, because that allows me to stay more present and allows me to feel better about myself if at every moment I can say like, well done. Like when we got to Zoom, I'm gonna be like, well done, Shayna. You did so good. Like, I'm gonna be very proud of myself because yeah, that's what helps me.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. Made the bed, excellent.
Excellent. You deserve a matcha. Like, well done.
And now, like timeline wise, or just like other people in your circle, when was the last time that you were proud of someone else for something that they've achieved?
One of my really close friends, she is a content creator and she's been hitting like a lot of milestones recently. So whether it's like follow account or brands reaching out, engagement, posting every day, like
Love it.
she's been like hitting them. And it's like she's so good and she's so resourceful and she works hard at what she does. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've been very proud of her. I'm always very proud of her, but I've been very proud of her recently in seeing her hit these milestones and like keep smashing it, because it's not, I feel like content creation is great, quite easy to get discouraged because obviously it's like you're putting yourself out there and like the things that you enjoy and like hope people like them and hope people like share them. So yeah, it's been really nice to witness her keep going at it and keep pushing it. So I'm very proud of her. Her name is Kirstine Thomas, so go and follow her on TikTok and Instagram and like her things and reshare and save them because that's what you do on TikTok to help people engage. Do all of the things because she's great.
Love it.
She's great.
Love it. Could you spell that for us?
Yeah, KIRSTEN. No, scratch that. KIRSTEENTUMWA. Kirstine Thomas. That's her name.
I love that. Definitely will be giving her a follow after this.
She's a babe.
And final questions. Is there anything that you either want to plug and or need help with at the moment? So you don't ask, you don't get.
That's a really good question. Okay, so I'm gonna plug Ryda because that is my baby and she's growing. So it's at Ryda Studio on Instagram and on TikTok. She is a community collective that I've started with the aim of supporting, inspiring, growing, just helping Black women get with their fitness and wellness journey. So whether that be trying new things, creating a sisterhood, meeting new people, taking care of ourselves, and just being happy and wealthy in like all aspects of our life.
Amen.
And I think, what do I need help with? I need help with, you're going to laugh at me because everyone's going to laugh at me. I really need to learn how to cane row.
Oh.
Like, I know it's something so minor. Yeah.
No,
I know it's something so
legit.
minor. It's like, but I need to know how to cane row because I want to be more efficient. I need to learn how to cane row. I need help with that. I would love help with Ryda in terms of how to. I do want to grow naturally.
Yeah.
But in terms of, okay, essentially, I want to own a fitness studio one day. So I need to work backwards on how I get to that studio. So whether that's, I don't know, how you pitch for investors, how you find the space, how you get clients, customers, all these kind of things. So yeah, I need help on how to own, run, create a fitness studio, please, and thank you.
Amazing.
And I learn how to camera my hair.
Legit needs. Get in touch with Shayna. Thank you so much for coming on today. I'm so excited for this to go out this weekend, actually. I hope your inbox gets flooded with business strategists and cane row experts.
Yes. Come to me, everybody.
Okay. Thank you so much. And
thanks for having me, girl. That was really fun.
Yeah, I'm going to plug all your details of where to follow you in the show notes.
Yeah.
And thank you everyone for listening, and see you next time in a couple of weeks.
Exciting. Thank you, my darling.
Thanks for listening. That was this week's episode of Coffee and Oysters. Would love to hear what you have to say about today's episode. You can always get in touch at coffeeandoysters@gmail.com or follow us on Coffee and Oysters Pod on TikTok and Instagram. If you don't want to miss an episode, make sure you are signed up to the Substack Coffee and Oysters to get each episode into your inbox. And don't forget, rate us 5 stars, follow, like, comment, share, all of the things, whether you're following along on Substack, Spotify, YouTube, or Apple Podcasts. And if you need Notion help in the next academy, all of the details will be in the show notes. And see you next time.